Everyone knows that A Day at the Beach is going to be part of episode 7, but I'm 100% sure it's not as straightforward as it seems at first glance. First, let's remember the release date for episode 7, December 12th. It's basically winter everywhere, and a beach theme doesn't really match the overall vibe of the world. Obviously, the digital circus isn't going to adjust itself to the seasons, but even without that, it's clear that the beach adventure is just the intro before the main storyline of episode 7 kicks off. First off, A Day at the Beach is just a funny phrase from Bubble that Kane decided to bring to life. And also, based on past experience, we know that everything shown in the sneak peek doesn't really hold any real significance for the episode. In that case, we can see that the beach adventure's just there to lift the mood for us and all the characters before the really awful stuff kicks in. So I'm not even expecting any major events during A Day at the Beach. I'm just going to enjoy the nice summery vibe the creators are giving us at the start of the new episode. But we shouldn't forget that it's still part of the episode and will hint at something bigger. Like, for example, we can see that Jax chose to distance himself from the others instead of trying to connect with them. The most important thing is not to focus too much on this adventure or build any serious theories about A Day at the Beach. I think it's going to last no more than 2 minutes of screen time. And after that, things are going to get way more interesting. We know every episode is going to be on the longer side and each one's supposed to pack at least 40 minutes of content, but since episode 7's probably the most important one for the story moving forward and for really digging into the characters, I'm dead sure this is going to be that super long episode Gooseworx talked about. Now just imagine if it ends up running close to an hour, y'all would want to see that, right? We also know episode 7 was originally so huge they had to split it into episodes 7 and 8, which Gooseworx summed up with just one word each as, huh and oh. And now if we circle back to that Thumbler question, which episode will Jax suffer the most in? Goose's answer might seem kind of pointless at first, but when you line it up with those one-word descriptions, it's pretty clear she was most likely talking about episodes 5 and 8. And if we think back to episode 5, I can't really say Jax was suffering that bad there. Aside from that bit when Ribbit got brought up, and that's it. But let's be real, episode 6 turned out way more tragic for Jax.
Ow.
I can get him.
Wait!
Trust me, partner, I got this.
Without honorable mentions and subcategories. That's right, it's bad. Unlike my show, which is good.
God, you look stupid.
In that case, we can guess Goose actually meant episodes 7 and 8 with those words, because after what we just saw, it makes total sense to think episode 7's going to be a real turning point for Jax when it comes to his future in the digital circus. But if Goose was for sure talking about episode 8, then I'm scared to even think episode 7 won't be the thing that saves Jax, and his mental struggles are just going to keep getting worse and worse. I'm sure that after losing his best friend, Jack started looking for some kind of comfort in the other folks at the digital circus, but everyone just felt fake to him. Then Pomni showed up and flipped the whole game, and maybe he really did start to care about her and was ready to talk to her better than with anyone else, but his trauma from losing that friend, maybe even more than one, keeps him from building any real friendships with anybody. That's why he snaps so hard at any kind of friendly gesture from someone else. That's also going to be the reason why Jax is definitely going to suffer in episode 8, because in episode 7, he just won't let anyone try to help him climb out of that hole. But I kept wondering what else could make Jax suffer in episode 7, and I think I found the answer. It's actually kind of simple. It all comes down to Ribbit. That little frog was the spark for all the traumatic stuff Jax went through, and considering that his story kicked off back in episode 5.
Do you have any actual friends?
Not anymore.
In episode 6, we saw this continue, and on top of that, Goose cemented Ribbit as an important character for the story with that leak showing his full design and emotions. Of course, Ribbit's not coming back in the literal sense, but memories about him are very likely going to show up in the next episode. If Jax reacts this way to just a mention of him or a drawing on his room door, imagine what's going to happen when he fully dives into those memories. I'm almost 100% sure that in episode 7, we're going to see another panic attack, and it's going to be even worse than the one we already saw. Another insanely intriguing topic for the new episode is the exit from the digital circus, which we got a hint of in episode 6. Sure, it could just be Kane's memories of the start of the amazing digital circus project, but that'd be kind of boring for this show, and thinking it's an actual exit is way more interesting. On top of that, Kinger also sparked a ton of interest after episode 6.
This isn't fair.
Oh, I got just the thing. Here, take this.
Well, wait. What did you just do?
It's a butterfly. It can restore your health.
Did Kane mention that?
Oh, nah. I made it up.
The fact that he can manipulate the processes of the digital circus really makes you wonder if this crazy old man is who he says he is. Lately, we've been seeing more and more hints about CNA, and because of that, a lot of folks are thinking Kinger might actually be Abel. If that's true, the whole digital circus plot flips upside down, because basically one of the creators of this cursed place has been hanging out with everyone else the whole time, secretly watching everything go down. That means all the other residents would realize they're just experimental subjects, and imagine how wild things could get from there. I'm more than sure episode 7 is going to finally confirm or bust this theory, and for now, all we can do is wait. I'm also sure that Pomni and Regatha are finally going to start building that close friendship our doll's been longing for, but that's a pretty interesting topic, and I think it's worth saving for a separate video. On top of that, Glitch dropped their classic, I'd even say traditional merch video, which as usual is mostly just promo, but they still managed to sneak in a few details that matter for episode 7. Probably the most useful bit for us is that Game & Match showing all the characters inside the nesting doll setup, with only Zooble and Kane separated from the rest. We also see those gloves putting the doll together, and the craziest part is that it's not just Kane who's got gloves like that. He's most likely the one collapsing everyone into a single construct, but Kinger's got them too, which makes a lot of sense after the wild abilities he showed off in episode 6. Let's just lock that in our heads for now and come back to it later, but for now, check out the thumbnail of this video. Usually in stuff like this, Glitch straight up lets us know what the video's about and shows one of the toys, but this time I didn't catch any kind of hints like that. If we look a bit closer, we'll instantly spot Kane playing judge, handing down a guilty verdict to Pomni and Jax. Those two are sitting in a cage looking straight up freaked out by what's going down. I'm more than sure this thumbnail's got some hidden hint about certain events in episode 7, and here's why. Every new episode of the Digital Circus shows the next day, and since Pomni and Jax ended up being the winners of the last adventure, and if y'all noticed, they're the ones who always landed the final shot on everybody.
Wow, I didn't actually think that'd work.
Huh.
High five!
Yeah!
And since we know Kane's all about throwing all kinds of pointless events, some kind of mock trial sounds totally likely. That's going to be especially wild to see considering everything that goes down later in the episode. For now, let's catch our breath a bit and run through the main so-called leaks from Gooseworx about episode 7.